Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday, June 11th Board of County Commission meetings. We do begin each of our meetings with an invocation, and today we have El Paso County Sheriff's Office Chaplain Bob Swales to lead us. If you would like to join, please do so.
Good morning. Let's pray, shall we? Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessing of a new day. We thank you for the sunshine and all that it brings. Father, I thank you for this board. I ask that you would give them wisdom in their discussions, wisdom as they make decisions, and decisions that are not just for today, but decisions that have a life ahead. I thank you for all those that serve in our county. We're spread all around the many acres, and I thank you, Father, for them. So bless this morning now, I pray, and bless the meeting, and thank you, Father, for those in attendance. May they be blessed as well. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much. And Commissioner Williams, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is staff emergency items, and I'm unaware of any staff emergency items today.
Item number 4.
Item number 4 is changes, postponements, and notice of the next meeting. I am aware of one change to the agenda today. Item number 8 will be considered after item number 5, preceded by item number 7, then item number 6, and then we'll continue with the agenda. The next meeting will be Thursday, June 13th at 9:00 a.m. for land use.
Thank you, and that is to give our sheriff some time to get over here from another meeting. So hopefully that timing will work just fine to take those proclamations a bit out of order. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is the consent calendar, including items 5A1 through 5G2.
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on any item on today's consent calendar? Okay, hearing none in the room and none online. Commissioners, comments, questions, and a motion.
I would move approval of the consent calendar.
And I'll second.
That has been moved and seconded. Any further comments? Okay, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. That now brings us to, again, out of order a bit, as the clerk said, item number 8.
Item number 8 is comments by elected officials and commissioner liaison reports. 8A, election update, Steve Schleicher, clerk and recorder.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner Steve Schleicher, El Paso County Clerk and Recorder. I'm just going to be very brief to bring everybody up to speed in regards to our June 25th election that we are coordinating at this moment. Thank you, Blake. So last Thursday, June 6th, I had a phone meeting with the state's USPS leadership, and it was shared in this conference call that I had that all ballots here in El Paso County have been processed and also in our mail stream. So we're having weekly updates with the USPS to ensure that all our voters receive their ballots. We have begun the first phase of opening our VSPCs, our voter service and polling centers, for our upcoming June 25th primary election. If you did not know, that's the day of my birthday, so I anticipate a lot of people showing up for my birthday. But on June 3rd, we opened our first VSPC at the Citizen Service Center there on Garden of the Gods. And yesterday, we opened our second VSPC which is located at the El Paso County Fair and Events Center in Swink Hall there in Calhoun. And the reason why we opened that one there is for the Congressional District 4 vacancy election that is occurring at the same time, which we all talked about. At a VSPC, our voters can visit any of our VSPCs. We're going to have 9 throughout this election to register to vote, update their registration, request a replacement ballot, and/or mark their ballot using an ADA accessible ballot marking device, or even drop off their ballot. Here is basically the numbers that have come in thus far as close as business of June 7th. So right now, we basically have received 7,832 ballots, which is pretty good for the first week going into it. The latter part of this week and next week, I anticipate, is going to be very busy in my office. Here's some of the ballot statistics that I provide to you that is basically broken down by Democrat, Republican, and unaffiliated. And I just went ahead and put that in a bar chart as well. Here's our VSPC in-person ballot cast. So we've had a total of 5 thus far, which is great because we've had, just open one at the Citizens Service Center, Calhoun, and we'll be opening up the rest next week in our second phase. So we'll see those numbers changing dramatically here in the next week. So Wednesday, June 12th, our bipartisan election judges began the ballot pre-processing. So our signature review process began on June 6th. Our pre-processing enables mail ballots to be ready for tabulation before our June 25th election day. So there's several stages to this process. The first stage of mail ballot processing involves examining the return envelope to determine whether to accept or reject the ballot. This process can include checking that a voter's signature is present, ensuring that the voter signed the ballot affidavit. And then the second stage from our bipartisan election workers is they remove the ballots from the envelopes, ensuring complete voter anonymity. So we're sitting there breaking that apart and things like that. The week of June 17th, so next week, we're going to be opening VSPCs here at Centennial Hall, our Fort Carson DMV branch, our Union Town Center DMV branch, also our Powers DMV branch. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts for this week. Do register to vote. Colorado is a same-day registration state, so confirm that you're registered to vote. This is the first and most crucial step, and you can go to www.govotecolorado.gov. If you have any questions whatsoever in regards, where is my ballot? I messed up my ballot. Just a number of things is we do have election judges on our phones right now, so you can call 719-575-VOTE, which is 8683. So we will assist you by identifying where it is in the USPS process. As I've shared with you, is we now have a program in place where we can track the ballot from the moment it is printed, inserted in the ballot packet, in transit from our vendor to the moment it's deposited into the mailbox. So know your deadlines. Be aware of when all mail ballots are mailed and the deadline to cast your ballot. Election day is Tuesday, June 25th. If using the USPS to return your ballot, please ensure your ballot is in the mail on or before June 17th. In addition, you can use the instruction page as your ballot secrecy sieve if you would like to. Here are some don'ts. As a registered unaffiliated voter, you will receive 2 ballots in accordance with Colorado law. So you will receive the Democratic primary ballot. You will also receive the Republican primary ballot. However, you can only vote one. If you vote both ballots and send them in, your vote will not count. As shared with you, that occurred during our March 5th presidential primary, where we had over 2,000 voters unaffiliated that voted both ballots and their vote did not count. In addition, they do not have an opportunity to come cure their ballot, so their vote did not count. Don't ignore the signature requirements. Make sure to sign your ballot affidavit envelope before casting your ballot. Don't ignore checking the appropriate postage if you use the USPS system, and don't wait till the last minute to mail your ballot if you choose to use the system, and also vote early. There are a lot of folks that are looking forward to election night reporting. And one of the things is if you do vote early, that means we can sit there and have that information out there at an early time, right around 7:30 on election night, to push that out to the public. So that is this week's update. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions, Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just two things. One, I did vote yesterday, so it's like get in early and make sure you drop off your ballots early. The other part is I do appreciate it. You mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but I think one of the concerns I had heard from residents over the last couple of years was that the security sleeve, we'd gone away from that, but I believe that you can use the instructions, and it's even listed on there as the security sleeve. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Commissioner. So the board and myself, we've had conversations about that and also with some citizens in regards to the security sleeves. And a handful of years ago, there was a Senate bill that was ran to basically say you no longer have to use a security sleeve because 98% of our voters use a ballot drop box. However, listening to the board, listening to our voters, is we went ahead and converted the information packet right into a security sleeve, so you can use that as a security sleeve as well. So yes, sir.
Commissioner Williams.
I believe that, I don't know how to say this. If you just put it into the USPS, the ballots must be not postmarked on the date of the June 25th. They must be received by 7 p.m. So it's better if you are voting on the last day to either bring it into the VSPC or to drop it into a box before 7 p.m. because the United States Postal Service will not get it to us in time.
That is correct, Commissioner. Postmarks are not accepted, so they have to be received by 7 p.m. June 25th, Election Day.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So speaking with one of my friends yesterday, they mentioned that they drove all the way up here to the Citizen Service Center to drop their ballot off in the drop box, which is fantastic. But what was interesting is they had no idea how many drop boxes are around El Paso County, and that there were at least a few that were a lot closer. Could have saved them a little bit of time. So if you might talk just maybe for 30 seconds about how many drop boxes you have and kind of generally where they are. And then I'd also, a follow-on question is, have you published the locations of where those drop boxes are, or how could people find out where they're located?
Yes, so Commissioner, we have 39 drop boxes throughout El Paso County. So they are secure drop boxes. They're open 24/7. And as you are aware, we put new cameras on these drop boxes. In addition to that is we launched the website as we went through the demo last week, where an individual can now basically go out there, put their address, and it will show the closest drop box or VSPC on the website. So there's 39 ballot drop boxes located here in El Paso County. And what was your other question again?
How do people find out where those drop boxes are?
Absolutely. So, Commissioner, it's on the ballot instruction sheet, so it will tell you where every ballot box and where the VSPCs are going to be, and it's also on my website as well.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Commissioner Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to say thank you for following up with some of the questions around the USPS that we have had. I did receive my ballots, and so far I have not heard of anyone who has not received their ballots in the Falcon area, so I think we are on our way to improvement. My understanding is there's been some individuals that were stealing mail and have now been caught, and I think that has that will be a significant improvement. So thank you for your continued focus on making sure that folks are receiving their ballots through USPS.
Commissioner, thank you. In addition, I have now am receiving weekly reports from USPS. So part of my update beginning next week, I will also share with you the number of ballots that have been delivered, undelivered, things like that. So I will give you those numbers as well. We've got it broken down by zip code of what the percentage of ballots that have been, delivered to the voters. So I'll be sharing that with you all next week.
Excellent, thank you. And the dashboard that you demonstrated to us last week, that is up and running and live and working well?
Absolutely. So, Commissioner, there was several individuals I helped with it this morning. They had the questions in regards to basically turnout in their precinct. I took them right to it. They're like, holy crud, I did not know if this much information was out there, but it is updated nightly. So the data that I just gave you this morning, you'll be able to see out there on the new website of EPC VIP. and take a look of what the turnout is. It's broken down by major parties and unaffiliated, so it's going strong and it's getting hit pretty hard.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions or comments? Thank you.
Have a great day, Commissioners.
You as well. Are there any other countywide elected officials here at this time? Okay, we will begin with commissioner comments then. Commissioner Williams.
Yes, I just wanted to thank all of those for their condolences on the passing of my brother. And then also I just have this week meetings tomorrow and a few other meetings during the week. So we're back in business and back to work. Thank you.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So I'm looking forward to this Burgers and Bags event that we're going to do midday today. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock will be the PPACG Board of Directors meeting, and I'll be participating in that. And then, of course, we know on Thursday at 9 a.m. we'll have a BOCC land use meeting. And then later on in the week, on Friday, I'm looking forward to going to the Hello COS Legislative Lunch. And I do have a State Board of Health subcommittee meeting Friday afternoon. Looking forward to that. That deals with cardiopulmonary diseases, is that particular subcommittee meeting. And that is all I have for the meetings that I'll be going to. And then we'll be back at the BOCC meeting next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I just got a few things. PPRTA tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon. And then Friday, as was mentioned, the Legislative Lunch and Learn should be very interesting. And then, as was just mentioned, and that's a fundraiser, I believe, for the United Way, one of our local strong nonprofits, and for the fundraiser, I'll be teaming up with Commissioner Vanderwerf. Hopefully, well, I don't think we're going to do very well, but it'll be fun. And then rumors are, I believe this Saturday, there might be something fun to do out in District 2, but I'll let Commissioner Geithner highlight that.
Commissioner Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate that. So I too will be attending the PPRTA meeting tomorrow. There's a COG meeting on Monday. And yes, the Falcon Kite Festival will be happening this Saturday, June 15th. I invite you all and encourage you all to come on out and join us. It's a really fun event, I will say, inspired by one of my neighbors flying kites in our street. And Falcon Regional Park is one of our newer parks. And I think it's a great opportunity for folks to come out and enjoy that park. Check it out. I think it's particularly special that Father's Day weekend is also upon us. It's a great opportunity to spend time with kids. Get out there. We always have some very large kite flyers that come in from other areas of the state. They're really neat to see. Lots of vendors and other free activities as well. So great time to bring out your family and enjoy that. I also just want to bring up one other thing. We talk all the time here about different things happening in our community, legislation and so forth. And I was introduced to a documentary just last week that I want to encourage commissioners and the public to take a look at. It's called Devastated, and it's about the fentanyl crisis here in Colorado specifically. It is a heavy, heavy story or stories of families who have been impacted by fentanyl. And I think it's an important thing for all of us to think about, talk to our kids about in particular, and be aware of what is happening in the state of Colorado. I know our district attorney is featured in that documentary and does share some information about how that is affecting us locally. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to the attention of folks, how important that is for us to continue this conversation in our community, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Geithner. And on that note, I believe that Common Sense Institute is doing a pull-out panel specifically looking at some of the implications in the state and providing that information for policymakers to make decisions on the local level, which is great. So you've heard it somewhat referenced and somewhat mentioned, Burgers and Bags. What is Burgers and Bags? Well, Burgers and Bags is a United Way fundraiser. It has a competitive cornhole tournament. You see, actually all of your commissioners will be participating in that, as well as our county administrator. So excited to do that, to raise a bit of money in a unique way for Pikes Peak United Way. And if by chance you forgot your lunch today, or you don't like what you brought and you work downtown, it's also your opportunity to stop by and get yourself a burger from the truck that will be there, and looking forward to seeing lots of community members there. And that takes place right outside Bank of Colorado on, I think, the 400 block of South Tejon. Did I get that right? North Tejon. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. So many of the other meetings I have this week have also been mentioned by my colleagues. PPACG and PPRTA are this week. I also then have Housing Authority Trust Fund, a land use meeting on Thursday, Hello Colorado Springs. And Commissioner Geithner, I wanted to commend you and our Parks Department on seeing the opportunity for a family-friendly, wholesome event on the east side of El Paso County. So looking forward to hearing how that goes, and maybe being able to get my family out there this weekend as well. With that, I believe, any other commissioner or elected official comments? Okay, we will now move on then to item number 7.
Item number 7 is the proclamation recognizing Juneteenth. Stan Vanderwerf, Commissioner, Board of County Commissioners.
Yes, thank you very much. And looks like we do have a few folks. Please come on down. This is going to be our proclamation recognizing Juneteenth of 2024. And appreciate your coming down. And I'll go ahead and I'll read through the proclamation, and then we'll give these two gentlemen and anybody else that wishes to do so an opportunity to speak. So at this point, what I'd like to do is make a motion to approve the proclamation recognizing Juneteenth 2024. Whereas Juneteenth commemorates the June 19, 1865 landing of Union soldiers at Galveston, Texas, to enforce President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation issued in 1863 to end slavery. And whereas, also called Freedom Day and Emancipation Day, Juneteenth is a day worthy of celebration by every American as it represents a critical point in American history. It is the day that President Lincoln's order, upholding one of the greatest principles of our country's forefathers, professed, that all men are created equal, and had finally reached the West. And whereas Juneteenth has always been a day for recognizing America as an exceptional nation, a nation that was built on humanity's highest ideals and endowed with a constitutional framework that allowed us to right our wrongs throughout our history. And whereas we can use Juneteenth as a way to recognize those wrongs, celebrate the right, and recognize that the implementation of the Emancipation Proclamation is one of the great turning points for freedom in our nation's history. And whereas Juneteenth also gives us the opportunity to discuss how the principles of the founding, perfect principles expressed by imperfect people, and our constitutional order led this republic to ultimately fight against and reject slavery, and later against segregation and the practice of separate but equal. And whereas Alexis de Tocqueville once said in Democracy in America, the greatest of America lies not in being more enlightened than any other nation, but rather in her ability to repair her faults. And whereas Juneteenth is an opportunity to recognize the struggles we have gone through as a people, the heights we have achieved, and the realization that we continue to be a work in progress, always striving together toward that beautiful vision of a nation that our founding fathers knew we could one day be. And whereas Juneteenth has been acknowledged by American presidents, including President Trump and President Biden, and was declared a federal holiday with bipartisan support in 2021, and a Colorado state holiday in 2022 with bipartisan support. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, hereby proclaims June 19th as Juneteenth in El Paso County and urges all residents, regardless of race or ethnic background, to commemorate and celebrate this historic milestone in American history. Done this 11th day of June 2024 at Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, signed Cami Bremer, Chair, Carrie Geithner, Vice Chair, Lejinos Gonzalez Jr., Stan Vanderwerf, and Holly Williams, members, and attested to and signed by Steve Schleicher, County Clerk and Recorder. Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Chair, that's been moved and seconded. Gentlemen.
Welcome. Please introduce yourself, and we'd love to hear from you a little bit about why you're here and about your event coming up.
All right, my name is Will Starks, and I'm one of the organizers of the Southern Colorado Juneteenth Festival. We are in our 4th year. It will be at America the Beautiful Park the 14th, 15th, and 16th. We have national artists, comedians, local acts. We have a whole bunch of different activities that we have going on the whole weekend at America the Beautiful. So just hopefully we come on out.
Excellent. Thank you.
And my name is Keyshawn Cooks. I'm also a part of the Juneteenth committee as well. And I'll just say, come out and have some fun. It's going to be a great time, full weekend. So there's a lot of different things for everyone to do, a lot of different activities. So I say, come out and enjoy your weekend.
Excellent. Thank you. And I know that I think there are plans for that to be presented at the actual event as well. So
On Saturday, that is correct. On Saturday.
We are looking forward to that. Thank you for letting us be a part of that and inviting our entire community to come enjoy that event with you.
Definitely.
Do we have any commissioner comments? Oh, do we have someone else wanting to speak on this item?
Say your name and just.
Sorry,
Great timing.
just in time. Hi, thank you all for having us. My name is Terry Josiah Sharp. My first name is Terry Josiah. It's a really long first name. And just as a representative of the Juneteenth Committee and the Southern Colorado Juneteenth Festival, we just wanted to thank you all for your support in allowing us to be able to share this culture. And gosh, the sound is a little awkward. Just to share this event with the city and to be able to really recognize like what this is and what this means to our culture. I'm sure almost everybody here understands like the history of what Juneteenth is. January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, but it wasn't until 2.5 years later that we finally got the message that we were free, which is really special for Black culture here in America because we use this day as our day of recognizing our freedom. So to be able to help spread this awareness as well as celebrating what our culture actually is for this city is incredibly special for us. And thank you all for allowing it to happen.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just really excited to have this event. I think it is a very important event in our history and an opportunity, as you said, to express the culture. So it's always an enjoyment to me to be able to do this proclamation every year. Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez, sorry I beat you to the second.
That's okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I appreciate everybody coming out. This is a wonderful event. I remember when it was rotating, and what I like is the consistency now. The first several years, it was moving around. Sometimes it was the southeast Mission Trace, I remember, is out there at least one year, and then moving around. And the fact that you've been able to consolidate a strong organization, that the consistency is really good. So people have now turned it into a large event that everybody knows it's going to be over at America the Beautiful Park, and look forward to this every year. And so I look forward to seeing you this weekend as well. And again, commemorating the important, difficult history of our country. But we move forward, and our great country continues to move forward and grow. And this is just something that we should just remember, our past, and then how we've advanced, and how we continue to struggle and fight to do good every day. And thank you.
Commissioner Geithner.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you for all of the work that you are putting into the event this weekend. I just great comments by my colleagues, but it's so important for us to remember our history, talk about our history, learn from our history, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to continue to do that. I know that I will be at the Kite Fest this weekend, and maybe I will make it down as well. So there's a lot of things going on in our community this weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reminding our community that we in America have a lot to celebrate. We have things that we have to remember, and we have to always be looking for how we continue to live up to the ideals of our founding fathers.
And as is our tradition, we'll let the comments wrap up with Commissioner Vanderwerf. But before that, my colleagues have said it very well. I'm very grateful that there are involved community members here that continue to engage and remind all of us where we've been, how far we've come, and where we still have to go. And that's what this is all about. Excited to celebrate with you this weekend. I hope it's a great event with a great turnout. Should have beautiful weather. And, one of the things you said struck me, that, in this day of instant information and instant reaction to information, that this was actually about how long it took not only for the information to get to people, and information that that was about the very core of what they could and couldn't do in this country, and that is just staggering to me. I'm grateful too that we have the ability to act on information quickly and make the judgments on what the right thing to do is. So I'm just astounded that that's how long it took, and I think reminding us all that that's the case. And again, just another way of how far things have come, so that people can act in their freedoms and live in that in this wonderful country as was designed and foreseen by President Lincoln. So, all right. With that, Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I am really looking forward to reading this proclamation a second time at the Juneteenth celebration on Saturday in America, the beautiful park. I would encourage others to come down there and enjoy that. I know you're going to have food trucks and a whole bunch of booths and everything, and it'll be a big celebration. And I'm not sure how many people will come, but it'll be in the thousands. So it'll be a lot of people that'll be there, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Tens of thousands.
And it is thousands, right?
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. Yes. Okay, let's get corrected. Tens of thousands. And we can talk a little bit about the value of this to Black culture, but I'm going to extend that. This is valuable to everybody. Freedom is what this is about. Freedom always wins. No matter what happens, and there's modern day forms of slavery like human trafficking going on today, freedom always wins, and we've always got to fight these issues so people can be free. And God designed us to be free. It's inherent in our souls to be free. And our Declaration says that God gave us these rights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are such important words. We have a right to our life. We have a right to be free. And we have a right to pursue happiness in the way that we think will make us happy. Maybe sometimes that works and maybe sometimes it doesn't, but it always means you can always experiment to work on how to be happy and how to be free. So these were given to us. These are gifts from God. And it's so important to continue to celebrate them, continue to fight for them, continue to do it together as Americans to pursue these kinds of things. So I'm really proud of the fact that I'm going to be able to go there on Saturday, read this to tens of thousands of people, and celebrate freedom in America, which is what I believe this is about. So thank you very much, and those are my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further comments on this proclamation before we vote? Okay. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. Congratulations, and may your event be wonderful. We will take a brief recess and get a photograph. Excellent. Good morning. I'm calling this Tuesday, June 11th, Board of County Commissioners meeting back to order, and we have gone a bit out of order today, and now we are on item number 6.
Item number 6 is the proclamation recognizing Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Holly Williams, Commissioner, Board of County Commissioners.
Commissioner Williams.
And I know we have a number of people coming down to speak as well. Proclamation recognizing Elder Abuse Awareness Day 2024. Whereas June 15th has been designated as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day to acknowledge the physical, emotional, and financial abuse of older adults. And whereas the El Paso County Board of Commissioners, the Department of Human Services, and our community partners recognize that senior citizens are valued members of our society. And whereas abuse, neglect, and exploitation inflicted on the vulnerable aging population is an ever-increasing challenge that crosses all socioeconomic boundaries. And whereas El Paso County is designated by the state of Colorado as an alternative response pilot county, which aims to further enhance family-centered and individualized services, strengthening the support systems of those who are at risk for or who are experiencing neglect and abuse, as well as driving improvements for the entire state. And whereas combating mistreatment of older adults will improve the quality of life for all senior citizens in El Paso County and will allow them to live as independently as possible and contribute to the life and vibrancy of our county. And whereas it is with thanks to community partners for their contributions in preventing abuse, neglect, and exploitation before it happens by developing community-based prevention, awareness, education, and training programs. Now, therefore, the Board of El Paso County Commissioners hereby recognizes June 15th, 2024 as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in El Paso County and urges all El Paso County citizens to join in celebrating the many and varied contributions and accomplishments of our older residents on this day and throughout the month of June. Done this 11th day of June 2024 at Colorado Springs, Colorado, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, Cami Bremer, Chair, Carrie Geithner, Vice Chair, Lojinos Gonzalez, Jr., Member, Stan Vanderwerf, Member, Holly Williams, Member, and attested to by the Clerk and Recorder, Steve Schleicher.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Thank you, Commissioner Williams. I know we have a lot of people here making sure that this proclamation gets the attention that it deserves today. We'll start with our El Paso County Sheriff. Please introduce yourself.
There we go. My team and I are honored to bring awareness to this extremely worthy topic, considering 1 in every 10 adults over the age of 60 falls victim to abuse on an annual basis, whether it be financial, sexual, physical, psychological, or caregiver neglect. Elder abuse is a silent epidemic, often hidden behind closed doors, leaving victims to suffer in silence. As your sheriff, I have prioritized reducing the number of victims in our community and holding criminals accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Unfortunately, it's estimated only 1 in 24 crimes against seniors is reported. I'm going to repeat that. Only 1 in 24 is reported. Today, I've brought an amazing team of investigators who work tirelessly to secure justice for our elderly population, to educate families and senior citizens as to how to prevent many of the types of abuse I mentioned. Commissioners, it is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Chris Klug, Sergeant Vincent Sapp, Detective Marissa Williams, and Detective Tamara Tadlock, who will provide insight into my office's ongoing efforts through investigation, education, and advocacy to protect our elderly mothers, fathers, grandparents, friends, neighbors from predators at home and abroad. After their presentation, we have two of our amazing volunteers, Al Brown and Bill Nottingham, to present some data on crimes against seniors in El Paso County. I introduce Detective Tamara Tadlock.
Thank you, Sheriff Roybal, and thank you, Board of County Commissioners. They're bringing up a slideshow here for us. Right, wonderful. So I'm excited to share with you today a new educational initiative that the Sheriff's Office is going to be doing called SAFE, Seniors Against Financial Exploitation. I'd like to explain what elder fraud looks like and what we have seen. Elder fraud refers to the exploitation of older adults, usually through financial scams or some type of manipulation. A lot of times, elders are targeted because they may be more vulnerable due to cognitive decline, they might be socially isolated, or they just have a general desire to be helpful. This has a huge impact on our community. A lot of our elders are already struggling with limited financial resources. So then when they experience a scam, they have even less resources and nothing to live on. I want to share some common scams that we have seen targeting elder adults. The first one is the grandparent scam. A suspect will contact an elderly person and tell them that their grandson or granddaughter is in jail and they have to pay bond immediately. So the elder is panicked and they send money to the suspect. It goes directly into the suspect's pocket. Another scam is the jury duty scam. An elder may be contacted by a suspect that will tell them that they missed jury duty and there's a warrant for their arrest. They have to pay their bond immediately or they may end up going to jail. And the last one I want to share today is the investment fraud scam. Scammers will contact our elders with a very unrealistic investment opportunity. And a lot of times it involves cryptocurrency, something that most of us, including our elders, are not very familiar with, and they get trapped into sending money. How can we protect ourselves? And how can we protect our loved ones from these scams? We have to be very cautious of unsolicited offers, which basically means anybody that contacts you. Make sure you verify charities and investments. Reach out to trusted financial advisors. Involve your loved ones. Involve family members. Involve people that you trust. Get a second opinion. And some additional tips. Never give anyone your financial information over the phone or online. A lot of times these scammers want our victims to stay on the phone with them while they go to the bank and they overhear all of their account information. Don't send people you don't know money. Never open suspicious emails and never open or click on pop-up ads. Monitor bank and credit card accounts, and you can also set your accounts up for fraud alerts. Use strong passwords and change those passwords regularly. Shred old financial documents instead of throwing them in the trash. And if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There are some warning signs that I want to let you all know about. Sometimes there are sudden changes in a loved one's behavior or spending habits. Sometimes when our loved ones have been more involved, they may transition to being more isolated and wanting to be by themselves more. And lastly, they might be reluctant to discuss finances, and that would definitely be a warning sign. What can we do when this happens? First of all, encourage your loved ones to report it immediately to their local law enforcement. And there's also a phone number on the slide for the National Elder Fraud Hotline. Seek support from trusted sources. Reach out to family members, financial advisors, elder care organizations for assistance. And when we come across cases such as these, we contact Adult Protective Services. And stay educated. We try to put information out as often as we can, so look for our posts on Facebook and in the news. Thank you for your time, and I want to leave it open to some questions.
Do we have any questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. Please introduce yourself, and thanks for being a part of the proclamation today.
Ms. Bremer, commissioners, guests, sheriff. My name is Al Brown. I'm a volunteer with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. The proclamation that we're going to hear is very important. It calls our attention to the many of us senior citizens who are crime victims. Thank you for taking the time to do this. The Sheriff's Office collects data about how senior citizens are put upon, are victimized. Our deputies respond to 1 or 2 or 3 calls every day about our seniors being put upon. The #1 crime is theft. People steal our cars, our bicycles, our jewelry, our money. 40% of the calls are people stealing from us. Fraud and domestic violence also fall into this category, are also important. The metric that is most disturbing to me concerns who is picking on us seniors. The deputy reports show that in over 30% of the calls, the bad guy is somebody that I know. It's a neighbor, an employer, a family member, a caregiver. People who I should be able to trust are often not trustworthy. My colleague, Bill Nottingham, and I represent the Sheriff's Office at the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition. We meet monthly with 15 to 20 local organizations who are concerned about elder abuse. Silver Key hosts our meetings. Adult Protective Services and Area Agency on Aging are there. We talk about crime and housing and guardianships and more. We learn what is going on in our community and what resources are available. I'm pleased that I can participate in this organization, and I know that each of you would be welcome at our meetings. Finally, elder abuse is this big. Law enforcement sees this section. APS sees this section. Springs Rescue sees another section. By recognizing Elder Abuse Awareness Day, we can see the big picture. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, and thank you for volunteering in a critical office to both of you. Okay.
Thanks again, commissioners, for helping us get the word out on this important topic, protecting our seniors. The scams, you think by now everybody knows about it, nobody falls from it, yet people continually do. Just last week, I received a call from a local elected official whose mother received a scam claiming that their son is in my jail. Another one, 2 calls, and that she missed jury duty and has to pay my office money. They went so far as to using a real name from my staff. So they go to great lengths to try to deceive our community and our elderly. Do not fall from it. My office will never contact a citizen and threaten and ask for money. It's never going to happen, yet people do fall for this.
Thank you, Sheriff. Well, thank you very much for being here to represent the law enforcement side and the prevention of the criminal acts side, particularly financial fraud. We also have today here, as Mr. Brown so eloquently said, everybody has a piece of this. And today, I believe here we have some of our Department of Human Services staff ready to speak and share another segment of why this is so important.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. My name is Jasenia Torres. I'm the Director of Adult and Family Services with the Department of Human Services. I wanted to introduce to you this morning Mr. Eric Bidwell, the current manager of the Adult Protective Services, to speak.
Good morning. This year, I want to again thank the board and county leadership for your ongoing commitment to what we do to protect and assist at-risk adults within our community. You continue to recognize the importance of human services and support DHS staff. We're honored to represent the county through our connection with clients and community partners, as we've already heard from some. Last year, I talked a bit about my own grandfather and the experiences that I'd had with him over the previous year. By way of an update, I wanted to relay today that he's doing well and has successfully transitioned from his home into an assisted living and then into a nursing facility, even while dealing with the bleak diagnosis of Parkinson's. The last couple years have taught me a lot about empathy and humility and the importance of every life. This has come full circle for me, given my history and career in the adult protection world. Adult Protective Services is an entity with a tremendous amount of responsibility. We are to investigate cases of abuse or neglect while supporting clients through the implementation of services. El Paso County APS continues to do these things with a high level of excellence. However, I must also mention that the Department of Human Services can only continue to make these accomplishments through the strong supports we have with the Colorado Springs Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition, the Pikes Peak Elder Justice Center, the Area Agency on Aging, PACE, Silver Key, senior centers, and a myriad of nursing facilities and home care agencies. Without these partner organizations, we could not begin to accomplish the sometimes daunting tasks set before us. Anyone can make a report if they have concerns of abuse or neglect involving an at-risk adult. Someone does not need to be a mandated reporter. Immediate concerns of abuse or neglect should be reported to law enforcement, as law enforcement or EMS may be better prepared to handle those emergency or immediate threats. Reports can also be made to the DHS Adult Abuse and Neglect Intake Line that is monitored between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, and closed on holidays. That number is 719-444-5755. This number can also be shared if someone needs to be connected to resources. In closing, I want to reiterate that El Paso County leadership has a strong history of being committed to the aged adults within our community. Today and every day, we are committed to improving the quality of life for our most vulnerable population groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And to our entire Department of Human Services team and leadership, thank you for being a part of this today, and thank you for the work that you do every single day. Are there any other members of the public, community members wishing to speak today? Please come down and introduce yourself. Good morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Katie Fuller. I'm one of the supervisors for Adult Protective Services. I was first introduced to APS in 2016 when I signed up to be an intern for the agency. It took 2 weeks for me to decide this is where I wanted to be and this is the population that I wanted to serve. With my time at APS, I have seen new programs develop, such as the Pikes Peak Elder Justice Center. Devin and his team have also got a guardianship program going where they help teach professionals and family members on guardianship tasks as well to get them certified. We have also, with within the Pikes Peak Elder Justice Center, we started an MDT meeting, which allows a group of community members to come together. We discuss difficult cases, different outcomes, and things that we can do to help those people. I have worked with several people over the years, and one of the main things that always remains consistent is the empathy and compassion that our team, as well as our community partners, have for our at-risk population. I personally feel that we are the best county for adult protective services. El Paso County does have a lot to offer our at-risk population, and I don't think that goes unseen within the community. I wanted to thank the commissioners for the recognition of Elder Abuse Awareness Day, as well as the APS staff sitting behind me in their purple and glory, who have worked hard every day to ensure that our at-risk population is safe and having the best quality of life possible. I thank you all for your time here today.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak today? Any community partners? Okay, I know we have several here in the room. Anyone online? Okay. With that, I will bring it up here for comments. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to thank everybody for coming out today to highlight this, something that we should be doing it every day, every year. But we don't need to highlight it every now and then just to remind people of all the things that are going on out there. We need to always protect the most vulnerable in our community, and so this is a good example of how we're striving to do that and to do better at that. Did want to highlight a lot of people here are in their purple shirts today. I'm wearing a purple tie today to highlight this noteworthy support to our elders, and so I just wanted to thank everybody. I did see some partners, they didn't want to come out and speak. I do see Silver Key out there, and then at the county level, I know we do participate, of course, with the agency, Area Agency on Aging, and a lot of other strong partners together, but I did see somebody up there, and I wanted to highlight that they are here as well, participating, even if they didn't want to speak. And so again, thank you for all this, and we want to make sure that the public highlights this, notes it, and let's protect our elders.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I'd like to thank everybody that's also involved in this. I really believe taking care of our seniors and helping them out, or helping family members to help their seniors, it's really a calling. It's really a passion. Many of us have been there in our own families. I know that I have with my mom, which ultimately ended up in a good place with regard to her being in an assisted living center, and she's very happy there today. So that everybody's got a story about this in their family somehow, some way. And I think, if I understand correctly, the theme for Elder Abuse Awareness Day this year is about helping older people in emergencies. I think that's also really, really important. Sometimes older folks might just not be watching television or have the radio on, might not even know there's an emergency in the area. And so if you do have a senior in your neighborhood that might have some mobility problems, it's important to get to know them and just be ready to help them while you're also evacuating your own family if there's a need to evacuate. But just get to know them and make sure that there's a way for them as well. And that's just about neighbors helping neighbors is really an important thing. I appreciate the phone number you gave, 1-833-FRAUD-11. That is for people that believe they see some type of elder abuse. It's important to report those things and have a proper investigation take place to determine if there was any elder abuse. And I also want to talk briefly about the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, because they also have an area agency on aging that provides an enormous number of services, has some great resources for seniors or for families that are supporting seniors. The great news about that is we do have a lot of resources in the community, so long as you know where they are and can take advantage of them. And I personally want to thank the Department of Human Services, our Adult Protective Services office, for the work that you do every single day, the dedication you have and the passion you have. Sometimes it's a joyous moment because you're really helping someone out, and sometimes it's a little bit tougher. But you're always there and you're always working to help our seniors in our community, and I just am grateful for that. And to Lahinos' comments, I wore a purple shirt. So purple shirt today. All right. Thank you very much, and those are my comments.
When you can get all the commissioners to dress up, we're paying attention to your issues. Commissioner Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate that we have been doing this proclamation for some time. Really appreciate the sheriff joining us this year and adding that component and helping us all to recognize those signs from that perspective. I think sometimes we think a lot about when we hear elder abuse, we think about the physical, we think about that side of things, but it's important for us all to be aware of how much of that is financial as well. So I really appreciate that addition this year. I think one of the things that I have talked about over the years as we've done this and heard from different organizations is how much I think things have changed in our society around how we think about our seniors. When I was growing up, I was taught to honor our elders and to pay particular attention to their needs, help out. And that was just a part of what it meant to be a productive member of society, a good neighbor. Anytime we had elderly neighbors that needed a little bit of help, whether it was weather related or just they had something going on or were struggling to clean up their yard. My siblings and I were sent out to help, and we were taught this is what you do because we'll all be there someday. And I think that has started to change a little bit in our community, and I find that sad. I'm grateful for things like this, but I think not only should we be looking out for that abuse, but let's help them before they get there. To some of the comments, let's be neighborly, let's reach out and make sure, especially at a time where we have so many people who do not live close to families. We live in a very transient world these days. In particular, a lot of our military community as well. We don't always all have family close by, and I think it's an important thing for us all to focus on so that we can best protect our seniors and before we get to a place where we are helping them through that problem. Also want to thank Sheriff Wrubell for, in particular, helping out and being personally there to answer those questions, because I know that I reached out to him with connecting to him with someone in our community who was experiencing one of these scams and needed some confirmation and confidence that it was a scam and that they were didn't need to respond to that. So really appreciate that. Appreciate you all for everything that you do. It is so important and critical to our community.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I'll let Commissioner Williams wrap us up with comments after mine. You heard us speaking last week potentially about the greatest generation as we celebrated an anniversary of D-Day. And there's the greatest generation and many thereafter. And today, you see us all wearing purple. You're all filling the auditorium with purple. And purple is the color of royalty. And I would like to be able to treat all of our seniors, regardless of what situations they find themselves in, where they came from, or any background, treating them like royalty. And I'm just so grateful that we have staff and law enforcement that knows that, sees that, and does treat our elders with royalty and respect. So, it's a bit of an emotional issue, I think, for me as well, and I know it is for several of us up here. But thank you for allowing us to bring attention to this. This is why we do it. I've heard some new information today too. The 1 in 24 cases are actually reported. And that is something hopefully we can help with by talking about this, not only on this day next week, but but all the time, and through this proclamation and other means, and having our elected officials ready to do that as well. Sheriff Roybal, thank you, is huge. And then Mr. Brown shared a statistic about 30%. 30% are known to the victim. That is also scary and gets back to Commissioner Geithner's point about taking care of and being aware of those around us and those that we come in contact with. So this board takes it very seriously. All of you who have chosen this as a career take it very seriously. Thank you. And this is, I'm so glad we could do this. I'm kind of at a loss for words, and I usually share a personal story here, and I'm just not going to do that today. But please know that this is an important issue to our entire community, and that's why we do these proclamations. With that, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. I always do this because mine is a personal story, and if you never think it can happen to you, you're wrong. So my father grew up in the Depression. He thought the Sunday treat for dinner was potato soup. Frequently, that's all they had with whatever vegetables they could find. My mother grew up very poor. Her dad got cancer in high school, and they lived off the eggs that my grandmother could sell. And a couple months before my grandfather died, all of the kids were essentially starving in that household. It was a very sad situation. So my dad became a successful engineer, built up a hugely successful business. My mom was the stay-at-home mom who took care of everything, and we all thought at some point, we never thought mom could not stop taking care of us. We all thought at some point we might at least get a little bit of inheritance, and all four of us got nothing. She became isolated. She actually fell for every lottery scam out there. She would withhold finances. She was positive that if she just paid another $5,000 in taxes, that Johnny was going to drive up in a new car with $1 million check. And up until the day she died, we never could convince her that she hadn't won the foreign lottery. And so my dad, who came into this world a very poor man, died a very poor man. And I just tell that story because the grief and the anguish we went through in our family, I try telling my story a couple times to people, and they say, oh, that would never happen to us. It does, whether it's your parents who are writing $25 checks out to every nonprofit who asks. I had a friend who opened her parents' checkbook, and it was pages on pages on pages of $25 checks to nonprofits. Or whether it's someone who gives away all their money, resulting in a very nasty divorce in the family, and someone has to take care of their parent in old age who doesn't have anyone else to take care of them. And Medicare facilities, well, our government tries really hard to take care of our elderly. They're not the best. And so it can be a very devastating situation. So I try to encourage individuals to sit down and talk with your parents. You can always share my story. That is fine. And say it happens. And we need to make a plan of when you're going to start sharing the finances again, because you don't want to have to be surprised and end up, my sister personally took care of my dad for the last 3 years of his life, and you just don't want to end up in the situation where there's just all of the money that they saved to take care of themselves when they were old is just not there anymore. It's their money, they earned it, they deserve to have that caretaking at the end of their life. It never was my money. I'd hoped for a little, but that's okay. It never was my money. It was my parents to take care of in their old age, and they didn't have it when it came time. So I encourage you, mine was a story of financial abuse. There are other types of the abuse that happens that are just as bad. Be careful when you hire someone to be in your home to take care of your parents, or in your parents' home to take care of them. Make sure you use a legitimate company. There are plenty of different stories about the types of abuse, and we need to respect that generation that has raised us. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said. This is one of the issues. To tackle any issue in a community, especially a difficult one, it takes a huge amount of collaboration, and certainly that is on full display today. And we do have several nonprofit and community-based partners here in the room as well. So thank you for being here. With that, and no further comments, we will take a vote. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. Congratulations. Thank you. And we will take a brief recess for a photo. Good morning and welcome back to the Tuesday, June 11th Board of County Commissioners meeting. We are now on item number 9.
Item number 9 is community service organization reports, and there are none.
Item 10.
Item number 10 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This is the public's opportunity to speak on an item that is not scheduled on today's agenda. And Madam Chair, I didn't have anyone sign in ahead of time to speak.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on any item not on today's agenda? In the room? Hearing none, and none online. Thank you. Item number 11.
Item number 11 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 12.
Item number 12 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 13.
Item number 13 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 14.
Item 14 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
This regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners is adjourned. And we do have a PID meeting. Madam, you're ready? Are you ready in the booth? Okay. We'll call to order the Public Improvement District number 3 meeting on Tuesday, June 11th. Item number 1.
Item number 1 is the consent calendar consisting of items 1A through 1C.
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on this item? Hearing none in the room and none online. Commissioners, comments, questions, and a motion.
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Item number 1 passes 5-0. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
We are adjourned.